Hey friends, have these high prices been Jamaican you crazy? I have the solution to that problem, and it is my authentic Jamaican jerk chicken. This is perfect for 4th of July or whatever cookout. Again, you know, it's just the food prices out there are just absolutely outrageous. So I'm going to show you this whole amazing meal that you could make that would cost about 25 to 50 cents per serving. It's just so amazing and so exciting. So we're going to start with our Jamaican jerk chicken. So I was able to get a large package of things, about 16 drumsticks, and it was only still about $6 or $7. So hopefully those prices won't go up too much when you're watching this video. I went ahead and marinated these guys overnight, and I'm gonna show you how to make that marinade. Alrighty, I did put some chicken thighs in there also because not everybody always likes those drumsticks. When you marinate them in this authentic Jamaican jerk marinade, it's just gonna be utterly amazing. I spent a lot of time researching this marinade, so I know it's very authentic, and then I had a student from Jamaica and she's like, yeah, spot on. And what I'm going to serve with the Jamaican jerk chicken is just some Cuban black beans. So make sure you're hitting subscribe, notifications. I'm going to be doing live streams, teaching people all of my recipes for Mediterranean keto, for testosterone boosting, reversing the aging process. I'm 55. I'm always told I don't look 55 any long. So we're gonna do some black beans on the side. You can do some deviled eggs. Those are very inexpensive. Also, banana bread. Of course, that's not keto, but you know, it's a special holiday and such. Corn is very inexpensive at this time of year. Pineapple, just chopped fruit. I have some nice peaches. We're in Tennessee, not quite the peach state, but close enough, right? So lots of healthy options. This is all Mediterranean. It all comes from that part of the world where all those foods originated out, and then, you know, we went down to Africa and still have all those amazing spices, herbs, and just bringing all of those cultures together. So that's why I love this recipe. All right, so I already made that marinade. A couple important things to remember is that you will need fresh mint. That is kind of key to the recipe, but don't despair if you don't have it. The world will not end. So here's my fresh mint. I always grow this like for mojitos, for recipes. I like to put it in my water. The trick to growing mint is it has to be in a shaded area, partial shade. It likes to be well watered, and it likes to have a really small pot. It likes its roots to be really crowded. Mint is one of those strange things, is it grows like a weed, but if it doesn't like where it's at, it literally goes, nope, I'm gonna die on you. And you're like, why did you do that, mint? You're supposed to grow like a weed, but it doesn't grow like a weed if it just doesn't love exactly where it's at. So if your mint isn't growing, just keep trying to change the location and maybe keep it in as small a pot as possible and keep it well watered. That would be my hint to growing mint, because it's just really nice to have mint because there's so much you can do with it, and I do put it in my water every day in my tea. All right, so just very random with the mint. I guess that was maybe about 3 or 4. You definitely don't want those stems. Make sure you don't have any bugs. Just extra protein. We are on a high protein diet here. Alrighty, you will need a muddler. Of course, just a spoon will do. And you're just going to muddle that mint. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup, 1/4 to 1/2 cup olive oil, vegetable oil. I mean, olive oil is definitely preferable, but you could use avocado oil. Would also be fine. So we're just going to add a little bit of that. Alrighty, so that's just gonna make that muddling process a little bit easier. So the difference between this marinade and other marinades, I would have to say, is that it doesn't have as much oil, it's a little bit more watery. So I think that it really just soaks into the chicken just so much better. All right, we're then gonna add 1 cup of chopped onions. You could use red onion, white onions, sweet onions, whichever onions you have. Minced garlic, I do really prefer just to keep, I know it's not as natural, but keeping it in these little squeezy containers, because, you know, with food prices being the way they are, ginger does tend to go bad pretty quickly. Jalapenos, we're gonna do 2 chopped jalapenos. Be extremely careful. I use latex gloves when I cut those up, and do not include the seeds. They're very hot and spicy. Throw the seeds away, clean the seeds out, wash your hands really thoroughly. So it's 2 jalapenos, 6 cloves of garlic minced. So you want to have the 6 cloves of garlic minced. Go ahead and put that in there. We're going to do 4 limes zested. So a zester you can really find anywhere, Walmart or any of those places. They're very handy to have. So to zest, you're just going to hold your lime or any sort of fruit that you're zesting, and you are just simply going to get that peel off. All that zesting means, it's really nothing that terrible and complicated. So we're just going to zest away here. Alright, so you will need a lime juicer just to get all of the juice out of your lime. So just gonna cut those limes in half. And we are just going to go ahead and juice those limes. Alrighty, so we're going to need a teaspoon and a half of black pepper. And please click on my video for the Mediterranean keto diet. This is, even though it's of course from Jamaica, but it still has the same ingredients, the same concept, is that we're just using a lot of vegetables, we're using a lot of whole foods. This is not processed, there's no sugar involved. So please click on that link. And also click on the other link for the Cuban black beans, because they are just absolutely the most yum and delish thing ever. Alrighty, we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. You know me, and pink Himalayan salt, please. So we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of that. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of this cardamom. That's actually kind of a Middle Eastern ingredient, but I just think it's kind of fun in the Jamaican jerk. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of thyme. And just don't panic if you don't have all of these spices. It's a little bit unusual in that they're gonna use a lot of allspice, nutmeg, kind of what we think of sweeter ingredients that we would use for cooking. And it's that combination of that with the lime, the ginger, the garlic, that just gives it that kind of Jamaican jerk taste. So that's what just makes it so yum and delish. So we're gonna use 2 teaspoons of this allspice. So that is, might be something you have to go buy, you may not have it. And then 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. If you don't have that, it's really just not going to be the end of the world. Just go ahead and put that in there. Alrighty, so looks like we have everything in there. Yes, so we've juiced all those limes. I'm just going to take a whisk and just going to whisk this up real quick. And we're going to do 1 cup of filtered water. Make sure you're always filtering your water. There we go. Alrighty, so now we have a nice yum and delish Jamaican jerk marinade. You can marinate any sort of meat with this. I do think chicken works the best, but of course pork chops I think would also work amazing and awesome. So one of the things that's super important is you want to make sure that you reserve quite a bit of it to brush it as you're cooking. Now here's another trick I learned quite a while ago, is to, especially if you're having guests. So this meal is your Jamaican crazy high prices, but this is gonna be your low price meal, and everyone is gonna say you are the hostess with the mostest for the best 4th of July or whatever cookout meal they've ever tasted. So it would be chicken, beans, fresh fruit, corn. If you can make some homemade sourdough bread or banana bread or some rum cake, oh my gosh, that'd just be so amazing. The drink that's just going to go with it is there's a Hemingway daiquiri drink, which is just the most amazing drink I've ever had. I love that drink. It's perfect in the summertime. It was Papa's favorite. And then also the jasmine. I love that drink too. So please click subscribe and click onto that next video to learn how to make the jasmine. So this has been marinating overnight. Overnight's best, but if you only have 8 hours, if you only have an hour, it's probably not worth trying. So here's a trick I learned long ago when I was trying to do big cookouts. Was a Navy wife, and you have a whole humongous group of people and 3 kids under the age of 5, and you're just very overwhelmed, is always pre-cook your drumsticks. Because you know what? Giving people food poisoning is not a great plan. No, it's just, no, it's not. And you only need to do this for drumsticks because the chicken thighs, you can see if they're cooked. So I'm gonna keep those thighs, they can keep marinating in that marinade. So I'm gonna put these guys on a tray, a shallow tray. I'm gonna plop them in the oven and oven at 350. Go ahead and bake them some at least 30 minutes, maybe turn them once. Make sure that they're just kind of almost cooked 100% through. Then we'll come bring them out, brush them with the marinade, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Brush them with the marinade that's been removed from the chicken so there's no contamination. And then you could make your own little jerk seasoning, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this Jamaican jerk seasoning just to make my life a little bit easier. Alrighty. Now, another nice thing that you could do that would still be inexpensive is just throw some like Cajun sausage on your grill also, so you can have this combination of chicken thighs, Jamaican jerk chicken, some Cajun sausage. It's just gonna be so much better than those hamburgers and potato salad and all that nasty stuff that we're kind of used to eating. For an appetizer, I'm going to be making and creating a bean dip, which is this black bean dip. Is absolutely amazing and literally just cost less than $1 for a big, huge container of it because I'm using dried beans topped with Greek yogurt. So hit that notification bell. That recipe is going to be coming up any day now. Or you could do artichoke dip. Again, another amazing recipe, and I just make my own homemade pita chips. Alright, so I feel like I should have one more of these guys on here. So I have my drumsticks on this pan. We're gonna go ahead and plop them in the oven. We're gonna pull them out, and I'm going to be cooking those on my George Foreman grill. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alrighty, so I did put it in the oven. So I put it in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes at 355 degrees. And then you can put it back on the grill if you would like to. Top it with a little bit more of the marinade and the Jamaican jerk seasoning. So this was the Jasmine. Please click on that link. That's an amazing drink, but don't drink too many of them. You'll be in trouble. And this is what it all looks like at the end. It's just absolutely gorgeous and amazing. There's the Jamaican jerk chicken, the Cuban black beans. I did a peach with some strawberries on the side. It's just so yum and so amazing. I'm just thinking like mango salsa would be really nice with that too. But I hope you enjoy this Jamaican jerk recipe, and it's so inexpensive. Literally, I made this amazing dish for less than 50 cents. So do try it out and hit subscribe, and love you guys.